Occupant plane are constructed in sections about the planet, later collected in different locations. So how do you transportation enormous components love, inspire, and fuselages? Encounter the excellent transporters, gigantic planes for gigantic jobs. The plane creature collected in Shed L34 at Bus's Toulouse staff is, to put it gently, an extraordinary animal. Wherever largest plane include thin, stylish fuselages, the one is swell and bloated, and in a extensive arched cupola over the kubrick. Its inspire, in spite a interval of more than rather than 60 m, 197 FOOT, appear unusually brief and stocky following to how huge flesh. Common, it bears a remarkable similarity to a Rorqual, and really it is mentioned following a. The is the Bus Sturgeon XL, a marked new rock of excellent transporter. The business as necessary plane love the to transportation main parts, such as inspire and sections of airframe, of the factories wherever they are constructed to definitive gathering channel in Germany, France, and China. Bus has very special manufacture centers through Europe, a heritage of the period while it was a syndicate of domestic space business community. To enable its delivery circuit to job efficaciously, it is necessary to be capable to conduct big cargoes of one website to else in minimum latency. But why not just construct all in one location to do off in the requirement for gigantic transporters? Bus pioneered the framework of possessing centers of superiority about Europe, now about the planet, says Professor Ian Gray, CEO of Space at Cranfield College. Thou ve got qualified labor, share invest, and the capacity to paint in regional examination, the benefits of a allocated pattern are so tested. Really, competing plane manufacturer Boeing excited of a more than centralized framework to Bus's allocated pattern, says Professor Gray. Therefore the requirement for excellent transporters. Behind in the 1970s, how job was made by variants of excellent Guppy, a transformation of Boeing's turbocharging prop given C-97 Stratofreighter, himself a growth of the other Planet War C-29 bomber aircraft. It was replaced in 1995 by a at first-generation Sturgeon, the ST, a twin-brother engine jet constructed by Bus himself. Lot greater rather than the excellent Guppy, it could as well be laden and discharged far more than rapidly. Bus now has 5 Sturgeon STS in facility, flyer for thousands of several hours every year and frequently manufacturing repeated journeys every date. But as the space gigantic himself has grown up, so include its as necessary. One of the major jobs of the Sturgeon is to fly inspire for the new ONE 350 of Broughton in Polar Wales, wherever they are made, to Bus's staff in Toulouse, wherever the plane are collected. Bus's manufacture volumes are massively growing, says Professor Gray, so a much longer, broad, taller transportation plane helps rate up manufacture. We can conduct more than, says Bertrand George, chief of the Sturgeon XL program. We can conduct 2 inspire at a period, quite rather than a. So it tool for the fender leg of the transactions, upcoming of the UK to Toulouse via Bremen, we dual the performance of the plane. In spite its wonderful exterior, the Sturgeon XL is not a completely new style. In reality, the one creature produced in Shed L34 began lifetime as a lot more than usual car, and one 330-200 charterer. Bus engineering personnel remote the rooftop and kubrick and replaced them in a tradition-built pattern, to build the required extensive goods gulf. The feature Sturgeon form was created in the supplement of a gigantic goods doorway, enabling the plane to be laden of the front line. The Sturgeon XL will start testing air transportation after the year, and is due to come in facility in 2019. Down there are now 2 creature constructed, and Bus intends to do 5 of them. The current belugas will be gradual out by 2025. In spite its wonderful amount, the Sturgeon XL will not be the greatest excellent transporter plowing via the skiing. Boeing, for sample, has its own big animal, the Dreamlifter, that it uses to give main parts of the 787 Dreamliner of provider factories in Japan and Italy to its definitive gathering channel in Washington Country and southward Carolina. If the Bus looks love a Rorqual, the Boeing largest close resembles a serpent how has swallowed a heifer. Relying on the 747-400, in an expanded airframe, it can in fact raise a more way rather than the sturgeon. But on to David Learmount, advising text editor of the aircraft study business Flight Global, such a comparisons are not very the spot. These plane are goal built to go particular parts. Down there's no spot in house them greater rather than they requirement to constitute, he says. They are every house their aeroplanes for their own need. Both of the Sturgeon XL and the Dreamlifter are intended to maximize goods volumes. The transformed 747 has the big sum of area common, but the big Sturgeon has a broad crucifix chapter, enabling it to conduct greater parts. In reality, in regulation of their capacity to conduct hard weights, both of are put in the tint by war transporters in extensive reserves of force, such as the 6-engined Antonov 1-25. The large car was intended for the 1980s to transportation the Soviets' area canoe. It is almost 8.4 m length, 20 meters much longer rather than the XL. It has a wingspan of 8.8 m and can conduct up to 250 tons, approximately 5 times the bus's maximal. But its goods bay is lot narrower and reduce. In some speech, if you wish to conduct a cargo of storage tank, the Antonov would be ideally. But the Sturgeon XL has been intended for a solitary goal, to conduct big components of some planes as effectively as probable. So time the allocated pattern for plane manufacture remnant in favor, these big beasts of the skiing are potential to stay operative for lot year to go.